I'm your host, Dr. Charley Ferrer. Today we have a special guest from Diva-for-a-Day, and we're going to talk all about what that is. And before I forget, I want to give a big shout out to Jordan Barone, who actually did that music for us that you just heard. And he's just coming out with new CDs and new music, and he's just such a talented author and artist. And I just wanted to give a big shout out. Thanks so much, Jordan, for our music. So, welcome.
Hello.
Today we have Christina Swiderski. I said it right. Christina Swiderski from Diva-for-a-Day. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what Diva-for-a-Day is and how it started?
Okay. Diva-for-a-Day is a 501c3 organization that was started in 2010 by two friends that both had cancer ordeals of their own, and having been through it and meeting other women who were going through it, decided that they'd like to set up a day for one woman in particular back at that time that was really having a tough time. And they set her up for a day at a spa, and they said, wow, we did this for her, maybe we could do this for some other people. And it kind of grew, and now we're in 50 states.
Wow.
And
I didn't know that.
yeah, and it's caught on quite well. Actually, I think in the last year or so, it's caught up quite a bit. So it's been a really nice organization for women that are going through it or at the end of their treatment.
And it's any kind of cancer, right?
Any kind of cancer, not just breast cancer, although that's prevalent, especially here on Staten Island.
Right. And so you know our co-host, Debra Santulli-Barone. So, and Debra, you went through it, didn't you?
Yes.
You got nominated for Diva-for-a-Day, and what was that like?
Well, first of all, I was surprised. I had never heard of the organization, and then someone at my breast cancer support group nominated me. And I get this call, and they say, oh, you're going to be a diva. And I'm like, what's this all about? And so it was a really nice day. What I liked was that Staten Island got involved, some of the spas out here. And it has to be a full-fledged spa because you start off with a nice massage, and then a facial, and let's see, a pedicure, a manicure, makeup application, and your hair blown out. I mean, you name it. It was really lovely, and free lunch. You got that too.
Yeah.
And there are a few out here that do it. And I guess in the other boroughs, I don't know about Manhattan. I know you've been trying to get into Manhattan.
Yeah, we don't actually. We have one salon in Brooklyn that I think was a trial last year, but we would love to have, especially Brooklyn being so close, because we have served women from Brooklyn here on Staten Island.
Oh, okay.
We don't have anything in any of the other boroughs currently. Other counties of New York have, but as far as the city goes, we're pretty much it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to help you look for something.
And this is totally free to the diva.
Yes, absolutely free. All services and lunch, as well as flowers that are provided.
And flowers.
Oh, the flowers, that's
Don't forget,
right.
because I remember when I got nominated, they gave me this humongous bouquet of flowers that I couldn't even carry. It was like, okay, I'll take it to my car. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, we have, I'll speak for Staten Island, we have 3 salons that are involved. Originally, it was just Mancini Giuffre on Page Avenue and A.F. Bennett Salon on New Dorp Lane. But we also have Secret Garden on occasion, picking up where we have other women, extra women,
that's
I should
where
say.
I went that day.
And that's where
And I went to Bennett.
And you went to Bennett.
Yeah.
And just to finish answering your question, we have florists that are involved, as well as restaurants, and they donate their services, they donate their products, and whatever we've been getting for our ladies here on Staten Island is entirely free of charge. The day is free of charge to the divas at all times, but elsewhere where we don't have participating salons, donations that go to the organization are dispensed
then used for
to cover their cover their services.
And so I guess you always wonder why something like this is important. Why is it, why have a Diva-for-a-Day thing, and why do something like that for a woman? I mean, I know why, but I would love for you. I know why. But, to let our viewers know why that's so important, if you have somebody that you might want to nominate, or you can nominate more than one, is that correct?
You can nominate as many women as you know that are unfortunately going through treatment, or I should be more informative on that, but the criteria would be that they're recently nominated in treatment or 6 months out of treatment. Typically, it looks like a year from diagnosis through treatment or surgeries that would encompass the criteria. Obviously, there's special situations or women that are in it longer, and it's always most considered what's good for the diva or when she's ready.
If the diva is going through chemo, then they can't do it. They have to wait till after?
Well, we've had women in the midst of chemo.
Oh, I didn't know.
During radiation, throughout the radiation process, post-surgery. A lot of times, I know one of the salons actually requires that we get a release from the doctors, so that they're aware. It's nothing invasive, but it is spa treatments.
Just to make sure. Well, I remember when I did mine, and I was already out of surgery, and I was recovering. But for me, when I went to do the massage, it was painful because I had to lay on my chest. And so because of the breast cancer surgeries and such, it was like, can we get more pillows? And the woman was like, okay, here's 2 pillows. I'm like, that's not enough. And so it is that part of, I guess, being physically able to do it.
It's all within your comfort.
Right. Because you want to have a wonderful day. I mean, I had a wonderful day, and it was fantastic. And it wasn't until later that I'm like, oh my gosh, because it was the first time in a year that I had laid on my chest. So, taking things like that into consideration, so that you could have the best, wonderful day.
Because even like people who have their lymph nodes taken out, depending on how many lymph nodes. So they cut you under here, and it takes a while, and it takes some exercise to be able to lift your arm up without it hurting. So if they're going to move you around while you're getting the massage, you have to take that into consideration too. Should I wait a little longer? Because let's say you get nominated, you get the call, but you feel that you're not ready. That's all right too. Just say I'm not ready.
Because you'll hold a slot for them later.
I call, I make notes on my calendar, check on so-and-so, and see how they're feeling.
And I have to say, the one thing that I loved about your organization, Diva-for-a-Day, it was how you treated me before I even got there. Because you constantly called me. You constantly. Not like constantly, she's bugging me.
She's still
calling. But it was that, how are you doing? Are you ready? Are you, we're looking forward to seeing you. We're going to have such a, so you made it so wonderful even before I was there. I mean, the anticipation was fantastic. And then I got there. And then she showed up, and I'm like, God, am I in the right place? What am I doing? And so you just made it very loving, a very loving experience for me. Because it's
a loving experience for me as well, and that's why I tried to be more.
And I found that with you.
I found it to be more rewarding to me, being that I'm not getting the massage.
We'll have to nominate.
A little something for everyone. Well, but I found that if I made it more interpersonal, it made it even more successful of a day for these ladies, and we can talk later about it. But a lot of them have become friends because of that, where I've either spoken of someone or people have directly asked me, do you have a group? Can I meet some of the other divas? And it's evolved. And again, it's because of what you're mentioning that I do like to put a little bit of personal attention into it. Even if you book 3 months in advance, we'll reconnect before you come in.
And the beauty of it, because I know that your organization also had a big buffet, or not buffet, but brunch.
We had a brunch.
You had a brunch, and all the women, all the divas that had gone through were there, and I was so surprised to see the place packed. And it was really nice to be able to say, oh, well, it wasn't just breast cancer, it was cervical cancer, and the other girl had bladder, and the other girl had
lung
colon
cancer.
and lung and so on, and it just, and we're all coming together just to celebrate the fact that we're having a wonderful day.
That's
Right.
right.
Because that's
You're
the one thing.
celebrating life, as you always
And
talk about.
exactly, celebrate life. And that's
Yeah.
one of the things that in Cancer Tamer we try to do. We try to do adventures with people. We're coming up with our first adventure ever,
It sounds so
which
much
is,
fun.
I want to talk about that just a bit. It's our whitewater rafting adventure. And women with cancer are being provided free tickets to go with transportation and food and everything. I mean, everything is included. Just give us a call and let us know, and we will put you on the list. But it is a first come, first served basis, so you better hurry up and
And
get
it's in the
there.
Poconos.
And it's in the Poconos, so we're leaving from Staten Island, going to the Poconos, having lunch, going through the whitewater rafting, having another, big jumbo barbecue at the end. So that's like so fun.
Yeah, it
And I've
sounds
never
great.
gone whitewater rafting, so. And it's not the,
It's not the
Death
Colorado
Grip,
Rapids.
Yeah, it's not the Death Grip Colorado Rapids. It's a soft, smooth, have fun with a couple of little
Relaxing.
bumps
Just-
here and there, so that you could go
Woo!
But so if you're interested, by all means, give us a call. And I know that Diva-for-a-Day is going to go with us.
Well, we're going to see who we
Oh,
can get.
that's great.
And definitely we'll be spreading the word because it does seem like a great
Thank you.
day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
great.
what I look at is, we try to bring you information about the different organizations within our community. And we are in New York City, Staten Island in particular, but we try to spread out everywhere. And if you have a community organization, or if you want to open a Diva-for-a-Day group in your city or your state, by all means, give us, get our website and connect with us so that we can connect you with Diva-for-a-Day and open up their own
Yes,
small group
it's actually always needed.
Yeah, and
'Cause
also if you own a spa, give a call so
Yeah.
that maybe you can be part of it. Because like you said,
Yeah.
it's hard to get
Yeah.
spas to agree. We've been very lucky out here.
Yeah.
And the one thing I see, and I know that, I went to the event almost a year ago when after I was first diagnosed and after going through my surgery. And the thing that I saw is the fact that we tend to isolate ourselves, and we don't have the full emotional support. Or if we do have emotional support, we're so busy on surviving that we're not thriving.
Well, right,
And
'cause
that's
it's
the
a
piece.
full-time job sometimes, right?
Yeah, just taking
Yeah.
care of yourself becomes a full-time job.
Right.
And so the beauty of Diva-for-a-Day or organizations like that is the fact that they open up the ability for you to connect with other people, the ability for you to take one day in your life out of cancer and just have a wonderful time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not to have the white coats, it's different white coats. So they're being poked and prodded in the best way as
Oh,
opposed
yeah.
to needles.
The other
and-
white meat.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So you have the
So-
massage therapist and the
So
little
you come out
coats.
of your isolation and then you're feeling good as opposed to your doctor's
Yes.
appointments.
Yes,
Right, that's
and
true.
and that's so important. I
It is.
think.
It makes you feel good. It relaxes you. It makes you feel like somebody cares besides, your family. And what I found really good is I had nominated Charlie, and then I had nominated my dear friend, the late Linda Cooper Gansey of Rossville AME Zion Church. And I met her at the spa that day, and she said, I had never had a massage in my life. She never had a pedicure, never had a facial. Actually, she never wore makeup. So I know she was telling the girls, all right, don't put too much on. And they listened. They did whatever she wanted. She looked so pretty. And she felt so special. Her son was so proud.
Yeah.
And actually, this show is in memory of Linda Cooper Gansey as a cool diva.
Yeah.
Well, I think, too, the important part is that we're stepping out of the cancer day, and so it's one of those things where it's remembering, because when you have cancer, whatever type of cancer you have, you end up getting this pigeonhole mentality, this pigeonhole experience where it's all about, oh my gosh, the fear of dying tomorrow might be over, but the fear of remission, recurrence, the fear of what else do I have to do? Here's another appointment. I have to, and life gets to where it's so crazy that you're revolving around your illness instead of stepping back and going, that's not who I am totally. That's something that's happening in my life, but it doesn't it doesn't define who I am. There's more to me than that. And I think that's the beauty of the program and any other program that's out there that helps women and men look at that.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. So do you have a Devo, if you want to do masculine
No,
Devo Day?
no, but if you'd like to start one, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, if I ever round up some guys, I'll give you a call
Yeah.
and you can set them up.
I've been
and
asked
try
that before, but it's strictly for women, and being with one, it would be difficult to manage both.
Right, that's true. I was just wondering. Maybe there's something out there or whatever. Well, we met two guys that actually had breast cancer. And that was a shock when we go to different schools or do workshops. And we mention that. People are astonished. Like, how can that be? Well, we all have different hormones in our body. We have some testosterone, then, of course, our estrogen. So the same thing with men, because they have some estrogen, too.
Right.
Some
and they
more
do
than
have
others.
breasts as well.
Right. And, and it all depends on so many things, whether it's DNA or estrogen-induced, like other cancers, breast cancer. So I feel that those guys are really alone in their struggle, because there aren't too many guys like that.
Yeah.
So is it easy to connect with you? Is it easy to, when you're nominating someone, it's just a simple nomination form, correct?
On the website, there's a category for nomination, and you would just fill in as much of the information as you can, as completely as possible, with some dates, just so we know where we are when I call. But it's not just me, and as I said, it's nationwide. So when you nominate through the website, it goes to a central nomination source where it's processed and doled out to the various cities and states where we serve divas. So if you nominate today, I might not hear for a couple of months.
And is this international, or is it just
Well,
U.S.
currently
based?
it's just U.S. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're cool.
Yeah, and I think we're all pretty generous over here.
I'm sure
we're
there's
spas.
similar organizations elsewhere,
out
but
there.
we're.
But this is good. This is good. Now, how about in Westchester?
I don't know specifics
all
of
right.
which salons, but absolutely, there. Like I said, I think most of the counties have representation, and if they don't, that's also how a new diva salon is born.
Right.
Because we'll get a nomination, or the people who process them all will get a nomination and geographically try to find the closest participating salon. If it's not close, they will reach out to salons, or if there are, usually the person who nominates will suggest salons and spas that are in their general area, and then they'd be contacted and asked if they'd like to participate. They're given a packet of information to consider. Oftentimes, they don't initially agree to it, but will offer a discount for the services for the day. And then once they've hosted a day, even at being paid, they'll say, wow, that's really great, and we're going to stay on, and then we'll continue as a free vendor.
Oh, that's great.
So it's like a little entree, and it's understandable if people don't know, hello, can you just give me some free services?
Right. They don't know anything about you.
Yeah. So
That's
once
true.
they see it in action, they realize that it's something that they want to be part of too.
That's great, because I
Yeah,
know
that's-
it's Secret Garden. They were so nice to me.
Yes.
They were so sweet. They said, "You want anything else? Can I give you tea?" I mean, they really were very kind to me.
Which-
and I'm sure you felt the same way.
Right. They were, and they put me in a little room. I'm like, oh my God. I have my own little room.
That's all you have to do is put her in a little room by
Yeah,
herself.
you just put me in a little room by myself. I'm like, okay, what's happening next? Because I'd never had a salon day. I mean, that was literally my first ever experience with a salon day, and I'm like, what are you going to do next?
Yeah.
Oh, there were no dancing guys that day. Okay.
No dancing guys. But I think the beauty of it is that the connection that you make also, because even if it's just one day, you might be tempted to do maybe a second day and a third day, and start taking care of yourself a little bit more, going out of that realm of I'm sick and that's my whole focus, because I know that's where we tend to get into that survival mode, and we need to stop just surviving and start thriving.
Yes.
And I think that's the beauty of your organization, Diva-for-a-Day. It's like you're thriving today. So why can't you bring that thrive
Right.
tomorrow?
Right.
Yeah. And
You
you're
know,
coming out partying.
And it is that piece of, you know, when you talk about exercise and things like that and how you start little by little, and you run the marathon because you started walking one block. But the same thing with thriving. It's you thrive just 5 seconds today, and tomorrow it's 10, and the next day it's, you know, maybe a whole hour.
Right.
And who knows?
Well, you're living proof of that, right?
I
Even
am?
more, yes,
Hey, me
because
too.
she started walking, you know what, 5 minutes a day, not even, and then boom, look where you're going.
Yeah, I
where you are
remember
now.
that. Which is funny because after my surgery, I started walking, but I was walking inside the building because I didn't trust to have the energy, you know, to be out. And so I would walk from my door to my neighbor's door and touch the wall. And then after I could touch her wall and then touch the other wall and touch the other. And once I was able to do a circuit around the, you know, around the my entire floor for 10 times, I went out and started walking outside. And it was that part of, you know, you start walking outside, and I know for women with cervical cancer, it's difficult. It'll hurt. Women with breast cancer, it'll hurt because your breasts will be moving even if you've had them removed or had a reconstruction, because you would see me walking outside holding onto my breast. And I would literally be holding on, walking like this down the block, and then every now and then I would just have to soothe because it hurt so bad. So, and I remember one guy had gone up to the stop sign, and I'm walking down the street, and you know, it was like 3 blocks I had done, and they hurt so bad, and I didn't realize there was anybody watching because I thought there was nobody around, and I'm doing like this, and he's like, really, you gotta do that in public? And I'm like, men scratch all the time, you know, so it's okay for me to just do this. But it was that part of, you know, taking 1 step, 2 steps, and then now I'm at, you know, almost 3.5 miles a day.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So,
yeah.
so you just, you know, you just do a little bit. You treat yourself for, you know, 5 minutes today, or you treat your family for 5 minutes, because a lot of it is not just about you. It's about those that are in your life as well. And, you know, I mean, you made my day when you nominated me. And I'm like, you nominated me for what? And so that was wonderful.
Right.
And so remembering that our families are also going through the cancer experience as well.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's, you know, kids or husbands and wives and
Parents, siblings,
parents,
everyone.
in-laws, everybody,
Yeah.
even your neighbors who might want to help. So why it's so important to make these connections.
Right, that's true.
And make other, you know, so if you connect with Diva-for-a-Day this month, connect with another one the
Right.
following month, and you might find that you want to volunteer,
Right, that's
and you want to
true.
volunteer, and you want to help, and you want to, you know, bring that beauty to some other woman, or even, you know, like you said, you know, you want to do the Diva-for-a-Day.
Yeah, right. You never know.
being
But I'm
able to do that.
curious.
Yes.
Do you feel that Staten Island? Is there any data that shows that Staten Island has the most divas now? I'm curious.
I keep very good track of my divas. We're here 5 years now, and we are just about 85 divas in.
Okay.
And I couldn't compare it to other states.
Oh, all right. I was just
But like I
wondering.
said, it's a small island, and we do 2 a month.
Oh.
And some months, you know, the cancellations or other reasons why we wouldn't have 2, but we have at least 2. We sometimes have a 3rd
Right.
at Secret Garden.
Yeah, because I was called right away. You said, I have a cancellation. You want to do it this week? And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Oh, that was,
You know?
well, that's served by someone else. But,
Oh, okay. It
but
worked
yeah.
out. It worked for
yeah.
me. You
Oh,
know,
well,
it was fine.
I always say, whenever you show up, whenever you're feeling better,
Yeah.
that's the right time. It's always perfect timing. There's no way to have a bad diva day.
That's right. That's the truth.
No, I don't
It
think
was
you
great.
can.
I know.
Unless you're freaking out in the little corner going, why did they stick me in this room?
Are they coming back for me?
Yes. And they came back with a wonderful lunch.
I'm
So
sure.
I thought that was great,
Yeah.
you know,
Lunch
and
was
more
good.
fun stuff.
Just to tack on to what you said about
Yes.
the first step in starting, I did have a diva tell me that was her diva day was the first day she looked in the mirror
Wow.
since her diagnosis. She just couldn't look at herself. She didn't care how she looked. She just figured she didn't look good. She didn't want to see it.
Yeah,
So,
that's wonderful.
yeah.
Because I know it is that first revealing of yourself, especially if you've had breast cancer. I mean, breast cancer is one of the ones where you actually have this entire body awareness because your breasts are totally different than what you remember. I mean, my breasts are totally different than what I started with.
Half the size,
And
at least.
more than
half.
more than half, you know, D plus, B minus. But it is that piece of being comfortable with your body again.
Yeah,
and I
right.
think this is one of those steps, because we do a body love workshops and retreats, and it is that part of taking one step towards accepting yourself as you are now.
Right.
You know, as your body is now, as you are creating a new life for yourself. Because the one thing that I see about this, it's more of trying to connect yourself into your new life. And seeing yourself for who you are today as opposed to who you were yesterday, and how you want to move forward. What do you want for the future? And I think, you know, I hate when people say, oh, it was such a gift. My breast cancer was such a gift. I'm like, I just want to knock them down and slap them upside the head. But it is that part, I think, that any kind of illness like this, the minute you hear cancer, you hear death.
Right.
And so the understanding that it's not a death sentence.
Right.
And you need to start just looking at a new way of living, a new way of deciding how you want to move forward, and the things that you want to bring in. And so organizations like yours allow you to say, hey, I want to do something special for myself. I deserve to have something
definitely.
special. I don't want to say I earned it because I had this, but
Well, that's how you get it the
do.
hard way.
You know, you earn it just by breathing.
Right.
You know, that's
and why not?
life.
It's time, I think. And that's how I feel about it. It was time to just have a relaxing day, and where I didn't have to worry about anything. But what I want to know is, do you have any goal or wish of where you want to see this going with the Diva? Anything?
Well, I'm not a primary director
Right.
of the program, so I'm not moving it into any other avenues. I'm sure that the founders, Debbie and Peggy, might have some ideas where to go broader with it. I just like to keep a consistent enrollment and appointed divas.
That's great.
Getting new divas is mostly from word of mouth because we don't have advertising budget. Facebook has been great, as well as other divas nominating each other. Has been really the best and probably the only way that we've been spreading the word.
Okay, well, that's
So
good.
that's why I think it's a great thing that you had me here today.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining
Yeah,
us,
this
because
is
we're going to be
great.
wrapping up. So I really love that you had a chance to come and be with us. Also, for anyone who's interested, please go to our website, www.cancertamer.org, to get more information about Diva-for-a-Day program or any other show that we have touched upon. We're looking for other organizations to show in the area, as well as individuals who might want to come and talk and be an encouragement to other participants and other viewers. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dr. Charley Ferrer.
Hi, I'm Debra Santulli-Barone, and thank you very much, and thank you, Christina.
You're quite welcome.